But just before we wrap things up, I just want to provide for the listeners some information regarding your book, Patient 71, because I think this is definitely something I haven't read it yet, but I definitely think after talking to you today, I'm going to have to go away and read the book now. But it is available on Booktopia, the paperback version.
Yep.
And then also, I think the Amazon Kindle store, Google Play, Books, Scribe. So do you want to talk? It was published in 2017, so it's only been on the market for 6 years. But
Yeah, and it's just gone into America about a year ago as well. So yeah, it's quite new over there.
fantastic. Can you talk to the listeners a bit more about, how much are they expected to pay, what they get, what's it?
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'll just tell a little bit about how it came about.
Yeah, sure.
So so during the chemo hot flush days, lying in bed in the dark, you have to contemplate dying, literally.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, well, I started asking myself questions like, what have you done? And yeah, I'd had a pretty good life, played high level sport, but there were so many things that I was gonna do and thought I had all the time in the world, like learn a musical instrument, sing in a band, write a book. Always wanted to write a book. Didn't know what I was going to write about. So I promised the universe, you get me through this, Mrs. Universe. I'm going to do all those things. I will do all those things that I was going to do. And I made another promise. Like I promised, I don't think I mentioned that. I actually promised my daughters I would live. And I promised the universe I would write this book. So I thought, well, hey, I've got something to write about now. I'll just tell if you get me through this, I'll write and, tell my story of hope. So when I got back from Portland, came home, having a nice time, forgetting about all these other promises I'd made. And then I just started getting a knock, knock, knock on the side of my head. Hey, remember those other promises you made? Remember you said you'd write a book? And I'm like, no, I wasn't even good at English. I didn't mean that. And it wouldn't let up. It wouldn't let up. And I thought, hey, I've got a promise to keep. So I just sat down one day and started writing, and it just flowed. Telling the story, and was lucky enough to snag myself a big publisher, Hachette. And this little girl who wasn't good at English has become a best-selling author.
Yeah. Well, Miss Universe delivered. It sounds
yes.
That whole story sounds like a fictional novel. It sounds like a fictional.
Yeah,
doesn't
and
it?
it's not. And I can play the ukulele now, and I've sung in a band since. I've done it all. I've done everything that I promised. Now I'm going to set a whole new, some more promises.
And next thing on the cards, your book, Patient 71, has actually been picked up by some filmmakers responsible for the 6-time Oscar-nominated film Lion. I actually played a bit of cricket with Andrew Fraser. So
yeah, he loves cricket.
His son, Jake. But yeah, he said a story like yours needs to be told, and I agree. And I think a movie would.
That would be, be lovely. Nothing much has happened in that arena.
Okay.
Had a couple of false starts and it's quite a complicated process, as you can imagine. Yeah. Had a couple of writers come forward and then not be able to get funding or whatever. But, to me, that would be great, but it's not why I wrote the book. It's not what I planned when I wrote the book, and I wrote the book very one-dimensional. It was just me telling my story, but we'll see. Like, who knows? There's big talk of, documentary, those sort of things. So, yeah, anything can happen. But, yeah, I did sell the rights.
Hayden Quinn kind of said everyone loves to blow a bit of smoke up your ass until, it's nothing's going ahead until you kind of sign on the dotted line. So, but all the best with that. Hopefully,
thank you.
Get something up there because it'd be awesome to, no doubt, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love my motivational speaking. That I really love to do that. So I'm just launching that. I've just had a show reel done, and I'll be sending that around to all the speaker agencies and doing some corporate speaking, and maybe a bit more writing. Hopefully, moving forward.
Fantastic.